give the thing back to Gav. What we were talking about was the death cross and how the community is currently talking about it, and how it potentially we could skirt away from that. And it's very indecisive.
Cool. So let me just whack on the moving average again. There it is.
Moving average or oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So this one. And then we change that to the 50. And while I'm setting this up, guys, it's a very kind of popular indicator used in the traditional stock market. That wait, what's CV?
Oh, there we go. Oh, that was my fault. Sorry.
Oops. Popular indicator in the stock market used to show when a major downtrend is beginning. We're in a bear market if your 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average. So the 200-day moving average is taking the 200 days worth of price data and calculating an average, and then you plot that line. The 50-day moving average is only taking 50 days, which is a lot less amount of data, and then taking an average, and therefore you get more volatility shown in the line. And so the 50-day moving average moves faster than the 200-day. When the 50-day crosses below the 200-day, then traditional investors will say that we're in a bear market. It's called the death cross because we're expecting price to drop. My view, and certainly it's true in the traditional markets as well, is if you get the death cross, but then the price goes up again relatively quickly and you get the cross back over above the 200-day moving average, then you're in a very strong indication for a new market structure or a new bull run, a new bull trend. So let's jump into the Ichimoku Cloud. The lines there are not quite so clear. Let's just emphasize so we can see exactly where those lines are. So that one, let's make it a crazy light blue, and the 50-day we just have it as the dark blue. So now those lines are thicker, and you can see that dark blue line coming down to nearly touch that light blue line, which is the 200-day moving average. It might happen that if the price recovers, I don't know exactly what the calculation is going to be from the previous days, so we'll find out soon. Raf, you're saying that people in the industry are saying it could happen around the end of this month, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then if that happens, then fair enough. We may see another few weeks worth of kind of consolidation, or we might just see a quick move back above that 200-day, and then we begin that new uptrend, which we're all hoping for. Let's jump to our Ichimoku indicator now and see where we're at based on the previous weeks of analysis. If you guys are joining us for the first time, then go back and watch the videos that we've put in our YouTube channel, because we go through a presentation where we explain all of the principles and the techniques that you need to understand what we're talking about in these quick analysis videos. These are now not really such beginner videos because we're not explaining what we're doing, we're just giving you the live analysis. To really understand, go back and watch the previous videos. And here we go with the Ichimoku, and now we have the cloud formation. We've got our Tinkinson and Cajunson. I'm going to make those lines bigger actually, so we can see them a bit more. There we are.
Maybe change it from blue because the
other one is blue. So let's give that. How about well, actually the Ichimoku is a Japanese system, and it actually uses the conversion line. It gives it the color of fire, and the baseline it gives it the color of water. And the idea is that when the water immerses and dips into when the fire immerses into the water, you kind of lost energy, you've been put out, so then you're in a downtrend. When the fire emerges out of the water like a dragon, then you've got high energy, and then you're in an upwards trend. So that's actually how the Japanese will color those lines. I'm going to just minimize I can hide that 200-day moving average. So you can see that we're on the 1-day chart. The red line, or the fire, is inside the water, which is the blue line. So we're in a negative or downward state of low energy, moving down. But look, this is pretty interesting here. You've got the cloud is thinning out, right? A little bit of green there. We're now back in a little bit of red, but look how thin it is, and that's how vulnerable or easy to penetrate the cloud is for the price when you get that thinning out. And it means the average it's kind of like a bottoming effect of like previous here, when the downdraft of the prices was so strong, we created this thick red cloud, which is very hard to break through. And that's exactly what happened. We were paying a lot of interest to this area over here. When we broke the trend line, we did actually move into the cloud, which is where we generally have no clear sense of direction, but we didn't make it above the cloud, so it didn't reach the new bull trend or the positive momentum. It dropped down again. And I'm curious, Raf, if you've seen any of the latest news about the Mt. Gox, the trustee selling lots of Bitcoin. But it makes sense that maybe there was that was another event where a lot of sell-off was happening.
Potentially, yeah. That's true, and it's really amazing to watch how both are linked, like the TA market sentiment and people's and also the news that comes out. It's like a matrix of different elements.
Kind of like like a dance between those different elements. That's cool. So right now we're actually above that long-term downward trend line, which is great for the chart. We need to now, like you can see the fire and the water lines, the Tinkinson, the Cajunson for the Ichimoku there. Since December, they've been up and down. They're crossing over a lot, right? Which kind of suggests this is interesting, good point. If you're looking at indicators and they look messy, you might want to go up to a longer time frame, because then you'll get less of that volatility represented. You get a smoother kind of perspective. So on that note, let's jump and have a quick look at the 1 week. And we scroll that in. And here, so there's a lot less crossovers. And we can see here, guys, you can see the red line, which is the fire, the energy, has immersed into the blue line right at that point, at the end of that week. And look at the next week was strongly down. And because that candle pretty much covered all of the previous week's gain, the momentum was very negative, and we had another week going down as well. And we knocked into the trend line again. Now look, on the weekly level, we're pushing beyond that trend line that we drew previously again, but this week's kind of price movement is not a lot. And look, if we go back in the couple of months, we had an incident where we had a couple of strong red ones, then 1 week green one which didn't move very far, and then look at that huge red downtrend. So could we be expecting the next week to be that huge drop and go and meet that previous very strong support level? It looks possible from the weekly chart perspective. On the other hand, of course, you can have small ones like here where the next week is strongly green. So we're not sure what's happening from that point. A couple of possibilities. Let's zoom back in again to the 1 day and see any indication we can get. On the 1 day, we are still below cloud, but as I said, we're thinning out. So it's kind of consolidation, indecision in the market. There's no strong reason here why we should suddenly see that kind of a big drop again, breaking the downtrend and going to there. So far, let's jump. We introduced the MACD last week, and look, this is moving positive. So we're going from that negative levels of these bars. We've closed up the gap, and we're now right at the 0 level on the MACD. And we've also got the blue crossing over the red, which in this case is positive upward momentum. And so if we break above that 0 level, then the trend looks like it wants to push up in terms of the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator.
Not McDonald's.
Not Mackie D's McDonald's, no. Let's zoom in a little bit more then to the 4 hour and see if we get any intelligence there. Oh, look at that. So we have poked above the cloud on the 4 hour today.
Gone back into
half,
it.
But yeah, look at that. We've dropped in again to the cloud, which is interesting. We might see oftentimes when you break into the cloud, the price wants to travel and touch at least the other side of the cloud. So you kind of bear that in mind. However, if that price actually recovers from dropping back down and comes out again, and we have got future cloud which is painting green, as you can see there, so we could be onto something nice. We do have this level which we drew previously, which was touched in the past day, so that's again a confirmation of that level as being support and resistance. You can see there. You didn't just draw that line on, right, Raf? This orange one.
This one, I think I drew it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because I did it as the neckline for the double top.
Okay, great.
So yeah, there we go. It's the.
So we zoom out and you start to see. What was it? You were looking at this level, Raf?
Yeah.
So you had that drop in price. So let's. What can we do? So Raf saw that you got that drop in price right there, and then you placed the level right on that line, and we can see that today's price has actually gone and hit that and got pushed down, which is interesting. So now we're looking for a comfortable break above that level to confirm, and then look at the space. Could be a nice rise from that point. However,
I think it depends, right? Depends on what pattern this potentially is following. If we're following the double top pattern and we're looking to try and break the neckline, then previous TAs that I've looked at says that whenever we get this pattern and we fail to break here, there is usually another sort of downtrend. But
so you're saying that you're calling a double top here and here, correct?
Yeah.
So we had so Raf's saying that we had a good rise and then we got to a level which, look at that, was actually on that downwards trend line and that horizontal resistance level, and it got pushed down, fell below the cloud, but then we recovered very fast. This is 4 hour time frame, and we went back up to meet that same level that we were at previously. And then it went down, so that created what's called a double top formation. And was there more to add there, Raf?
Yes.
So breaking that level can then see us return back to test again that double top.
If we break that level, but if we fail to break it, it's very likely there's another bear run. Sorry.
Right. Especially right. So if good point. So now we're starting to put those different pieces together. It's really cool. So we got that. We're in the cloud now. If we drop below cloud, the green turns back to red. We've confirmed that that has acted as a resistance, the neckline of that double top. And then let's jump to the MACD on the 4 hour. Look at that. We're in negative territory on the 4 hour. Remember always that the higher time frame trumps the lower time frame. So if we jump to that 1 day again, with that perspective that we've just picked up on the 4 hour level, then what do we feel? Like that is, we went up a few bars, a few candles, a hesitation candle there, like not clear direction in the market. And now we've got 1 day, today has been downwards. However, we do have this MACD, so it's like the 1 day MACD fighting against the 4 hour MACD, which is negative. 1 day is positive, and we're thinking who's going to win. Is there a clear direction in the market? Would I be trading this myself? Probably not.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting signals right now. It's no real, and also again, it's, you know, this is not really. I hope you guys have been reading the disclaimer above. This is not for financial advice. It's purely for education and entertainment purposes. We're showing you guys all of the indicators and all of the patterns with regards to working out market sentiment, because human beings tend to act like have a hive mind and behave in the same way. So everybody's looking at the same price charts, and we're all trying to anticipate the same movements. So if you guys have no clue on this, you're in the right place.
So that's on Bitcoin. I think we've covered Bitcoin. Let's take a look at a few other coins. I'm interested to see Litecoin. We'll check out Litecoin, Dash, Ether, and I'm also interested in Ripple at the moment, and I'll share why. So let's first of all, I like to start at the 1 week level, and we haven't yet looked at the Heikin-Ashi, so let's do that for Litecoin. But the Litecoin 1 week chart, we can see, I feel like there's a good horizontal level there. We got the top and the bottom of those candles. Then we came down again to that week that went down significantly, and then recovered. And then because of that candle, it was like the market rejected the downtrend. It went back up to there. Then there was like good optimism in the market at that point. So the week after was a very strong positive week.
It was like almost like no candle there though. It's a very weak uptrend, but then it spurred on this huge one. So right. Crazy.
And so then you had a couple of it, and now we've had the few weeks of coming down with the market, and now we've come back down to near enough that same level, which you can see here was right at the point where Litecoin went bananas from $150 to $300. It doubled in price in that 1 week alone, and that was right up into December, which is where, funnily enough, the trustee of Mt. Gox apparently started selling the coins and brought the whole market down. I wonder what the market would look like today if that event had not happened. If the market hadn't been suddenly stopped cold, because maybe that was a big event for the whole global economy. Maybe Deutsche Bank would have fallen by now, and the cryptocurrency could be orders of magnitude bigger if that trend had continued, but Mt. Gox somehow, or the trustee maybe put a stop to it.
Maybe,
just speculation.
Just speculate. Like, who knows? Maybe what if Satoshi Nakamoto's 1 million bitcoins suddenly hits the market at 20k or 40k, and there's more than one people that is Satoshi Nakamoto with those private keys and access to those 1 million bitcoins.
Yeah, I've got those private keys. I'm one of them.
So who knows? This is really early days for this technology, and it's really entertaining to watch. Like, I know people that spend long periods of time looking at these charts.
I did. I spent earlier on, a year or two ago now, I spent almost 3 months day and night looking at the 15-minute chart, trying to figure that out, and I learned a lot, because you see the price, the patterns, but it was not a good time frame to trade on. So personally, my view is trade on a longer time frame. You get more sleep, you have more of a social life, and you make more profit, and you don't have to worry about it so much either.
Oh, that was me as well. Like, I when I first got into this, I was trying to trade the 15-minute and half an hour candles. I was like, this isn't working. I'm losing so much money. I lost like 80% within sort of the first week. Yeah, it was like, what am I doing?
That's a story. So what we can see with the 1 week chart for Litecoin against US dollar is this beginning of a red cloud, but it's kind of leveled out. Let me zoom in there. It's leveled out. So it's not like suddenly dropping and creating a thick red cloud. It's thin. So we might again see that market recovery, and that will turn back into green, which will be a very bullish sign. Whoops. If we jump now Litecoin to the 1 day. So we had some green cloud on the 1 day. We've actually got red formation there. So yeah, we're just kind of in no man's land. We're kind of waiting and seeing what the market's doing. You can see the past many days up and down this whole area. There was our high. Draw some rectangles. That was the big market top, and then since then we've been in this kind of a trading zone, you might say, or at least a zone of price action, up and down, almost up to that level again, down, flirting there, and kind of getting tighter. So there might be a flag formation. This is where you can connect trend lines together. So we take, where's my brush? No, I don't want that. Trend line. Let's go from the top, see what's going on there. That one, and we come down, and you can see then you can see, guys, there's a wick of the candle went up to there. So I'm going to use that one to extend that trend line, and I'll plant that there. So we've got now, instead of this trend line, now we're thinking about this trend line. And then rising, we can draw the other one. From that bottom, touch the bottom of this low point, this recent low point, just extend that out. And so now we've got some kind of a flag which may give us a bit of perspective. And the idea here is that when you break out of that kind of a flag, then the move can be quite strong. So the price might bounce around up and down, get squeezed and squeezed and squeezed into the corner. At some point it's going to break. If it breaks the downside, then you can see a sudden move down. If it breaks the upside, then we might finally pop through that cloud on the 1 day, and then that's a very good sign for a new trend. So it's quite interesting. We may be seeing that kind of a flag formation. If we jump in at the 4 hour, again, because the 1 day is not showing us a great deal, we just see the same. We see the same event, the new flag that we've just drawn, and you can see we're just kind of getting squeezed in there. And right now the price is inside the 4 hour cloud and kind of following it along the lines there. Here we are, just touched right at the bottom of the cloud, and now we're almost not moving, or just half an hour into this new 4 hour cloud. MACD on the 4 hour level is pushing down, so a little down swing. Maybe that'll see, the idea is there that price might drop down here, might break through the cloud, might touch that support level, might break through and hit that trend line, and then adhere to that trend line longer term and come back up to meet the top of that one. And so we got that coiling effect. The market is coiling around those price levels, looking for a break either direction.
Everyone's scared.
Exactly. That's what it is. They take profits when it's at the top. They buy in when it hits that level and starts to turn again. So you just get these tiny little rallies, and you can imagine that at the 15-minute time frame, people are scrambling for their little bit of profit instead of doing the sensible thing and just staying out of the market, or holding and just waiting for a clean break of that kind of thing. Inside these kind of market structures is where a lot of people lose a lot of money, because they're thinking, it's come down and buy the dip. They think buy the dip, but you've got to add that formula to the rest of it, which is buy the dip when the positive momentum begins again, instead of getting trapped in these kind of the price swings. So a good bit of insight perspective there. Let's check out Dash.
Dash has had a very bad period.
Hasn't had
recently,
a good time, has it?
Very, very
If we
disappointing.
jump out to the 1 week level, this is on Kraken.
It's like,
So, that is pretty ugly.
it's like systole. It's like the heartbeat.
This is like, we can draw kind of a trading range around that kind of area, and then that's that big green week. This is on the weekly time frame, guys. When that, I don't know what happened there, whatever the news event was that kicked that into high gear. And then the market said, oh, I don't know about that. We just jumped up probably whatever it was, 50 or maybe 40% or something. The next week was down just to check how strong is this positive sentiment in the market about whatever that news event was. And then look, the market didn't drop that much. It came down a little bit. And that's why overall the market said, yes, we're in positive mode, instead of the price dropping all the way back down. After that week completed, then you got that big rally over the few weeks all the way up. And look at that, skyrocketed up to $1,600 per Dash during that week. But in that same week, the price fell all the way back down again and closed at $1,100. And then you had these few weeks of
in that week, I did the podcast with the three amigos, the Dash three amigos, and we discussed the unbelievableness of the 1500 Dash, or it might not have been that week. It was the week of my birthday. I remember it. So I think we were just over $1,000 or just below $1,000, and we were saying that over $1,000 might be in March this year. We got $1,500 in December.
That is amazing. And then look down here, you've got the MACD was the bars. I'm going to zoom into there. So we want to look at that week of the 18th of December. If I open up the MACD, that week of the 18th of December was the high on the MACD, and the week after that was down. The week after that was a little bit up, and then the week after that was down. So you would have been at least very cautious. Once that had happened, and the next couple of weeks the MACD was pulling down, then you got to think maybe I should actually be looking to take profits there. A couple of weeks later of crazy price action, and then we get this giant downdraft for a month, and then we got a bit of bounce around. And unfortunately for Dash, at the moment, it's had another couple of very bad weeks, and currently we're just kind of in this indecision mode. I'm not sure if there's news about Dash, but I would not. I mean, I would be having this on my watch list. We like Dash. Believe in the direction. Fantastic conference last year.
The governance model.
Very good approach that they built. Do you want to just describe a little bit the governance model around Dash?
Yes, so
in a nutshell.
10% of all of Dash's mining reward is put towards their governance, which is things like paying staff to write new bits of code, new fixes, new dips. So dip is a Dash improvement protocol, and also things like conferences. So the Dash conference that we went to last year to announce the Wirex partnership, which is still in development, so that's something exciting for you guys to look forward to. They use that to pay for it, and when the price of Dash skyrocketed, they made good use of it and spent a lot of money on marketing. They paid and sponsored a lot of TV programs, and it's really cool. They're the only cryptocurrency that's doing that. Last week, for example, they also put money together to hire a council to apply for intellectual property. So they've got patents being applied for, and it's they're really setting a precedent. The Dash team.
Nice. A couple of observations here on the chart, and so I like Dash as a longer term view, and would definitely be on my watch list at this point with this the downfall that it's had. But we've got to choose our entry point, right? So if we look at, I'll show you the MACD in a second, but what I've noticed here, this box that I suggested is like the top of that box is basically that whole zone. Well, we're right at that price level right now, so we can actually draw a nice horizontal level. I'm going to drop it there. That's good, because we got the touch of of that. We got the touch just there a few weeks ago, and we've come back down, and now we're settled on that level, and now we've currently got the indecision candle right on that level. So I'm looking for either a break of that support level so that we're going to start dropping down again, which is suggested unfortunately by the MACD at this moment, because it is down. So the momentum of the market has definitely been down, and it doesn't take a genius because you can see the previous week's red candles. So it's but if we then get a positive green candle in the next week after, and we see the MACD bar go from a lower one to a higher one, then we might start to think, well, you know what, we've got tremendous support in the price from all the way back in August, which is pretty much when the Dash conference was, right? I think
Yes. Right.
I remember the price being around 300-ish, it went up to 360. we were amazed, like ecstatic that was happening. But that is a very strong support level, so we may see the price recover there. We've also got touch point there, so that's quite an interesting level for Dash. Glad we had a look at that chart. Let's just jump and have a little look just at the 1 day. So for me, we're not yet ready on the 1 week perspective to worry about what's happening on the 4 hour perspective. It's just not quite there yet. We haven't seen the change in direction on the weekly, so we don't really need to look at the 4 hour to that granular level. But let's just have a quick look at the 1 day.
Remember, guys, bigger time scales to smaller ones, and that's how you get into it.
Absolutely. And there we go. We can see we've got our trend line on the 1 day chart, and we're still below the trend line. We're below thick red cloud. The fire line is below the water line, so it's like the fire's been put out. We still have red cloud, although the red cloud is thinning out. And we're skirting along this level that we've just drawn. And that is the MACD. Let's see. We're pushing up on the 1 day for the MACD, which suggests this level may hold. That level may hold, and again, it's like we're coiling. The market is coiling with these traders looking to taking profits and trying to trade these smaller swings. So that might come up to meet that trend line again. Might get pushed down again as we squeeze in this flag formation.
I mean, that's
triangle.
When you say coiling, it makes me think of a spring.
Absolutely, yeah, tightly coiled spring. That's exactly what it is. I think of that to myself like a tightly coiled spring. At some point, the market, and that's exactly the principle. So then you get that level where the price pops above the cloud, and very often, if there has been that coiling of the market, when it breaks above the cloud, that's when the spring is released. And that's why you can get such very rapid, instant increases, because the momentum has changed and the spring has been freed from that coiling.
The release the Kraken. But it could be either way, right? So if it falls below the bottom of the flag, then that spring could release some energy for a bear run, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not biased. Exactly, that energy could be pushed down into a downtrend for sure. So we're hoping that consolidation zone holds. We're looking for it now, especially with the 1 day MACD, that like you could expect that to go from where it is now, $440, maybe touching up here to $600. So that's a good increase. That's 30% or so. But don't buy don't jump on the moving train. So if you bought when it came up to here, then you might see yourself lose 20-25% over the next few days. So again, it's that understanding these kind of principles helps protect you from taking risky or pointless entry points, and you're looking for the good ones. You don't need that many of them to do very well.
And the MACD is undecisive on the 1 day, or
the MACD, it's chopping around a lot because the market's chopping, but the 1D MACD is pushing up.
Oh, nice.
Trying to break above the 0 line, blue line just trying to break above the red line. So that will be supporting the price on that support level that we've drawn, that orange one there. So that's what we're looking at. We can check that out again next week. Let's have a quick look at Ripple. The reason why I'm getting interested in Ripple is because they're doing, I didn't like it at first because it was created as a centralized crypto. Not created by a bank, but it's part of the traditional banking system. Do you want to explain a bit on that, Raf?
Yeah, it's as far as I'm aware, everything that I've heard of it, it's a closed-off ecosystem and for intra-bank transfers. But there is some stuff coming out with regards to use cases within consumer base, like MoneyGram, some other international remittance services have started using it. So who knows, it could be a player. Can we build the same sort of apps? But again, there's lots of drama because we're in such early stages within the industry. There's so much drama. And one of the founders or someone, a senior member of the Ripple team, went off and apparently created Cardano and all of this mix mash of different use. So look, right now there are so many interesting projects, and I'm tempted so badly to own a little piece of all of them because believe me, everything is very exciting right now. So just do your research. Try and understand TA, because what's happened with me previously is that I'll see a really good project, everything checks out, the tech behind it checks out, the team behind it checks out, but then the price just all of a sudden takes a random dip, and I'm just like, why did that happen? Like something good just happened. And then I look into the TA and I was like, oh, okay, it's just mentality and patterns and people following the patterns. So, knowledge is power, right? I always say this. And the more knowledge you have, the better you are at making powerful decisions, I guess. So, keep an open mind, keep looking at different things, and who knows, Ripple could very well move to the second biggest player of market cap, right?
Yeah. So the reason that I'm interested in Ripple is that while it does have the support of the traditional system, if the adoption increases, then a lot more institutions will connect with the Ripple network. And I'm not 100% clear, but if that continues to happen, then it's effectively becoming a decentralized system, because all of those nodes will be operating their own Ripple connection, and then there'll be consensus and there'll be agreement in the thing. So it might evolve into a decentralized network like Bitcoin. And if that happens, it's going to be regulated, it's part of the traditional finance system, but it might be the bridge that the old world economy uses to cross into more of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So I'm curious about Ripple. I'm curious where it's going to go to. I wasn't interested in it before. Now I've started to wonder, is this going to grow and be decentralized and support the transition? 1 week perspective, not looking good, but we're coming back down. Similar kind of story as Dash. You got this whole region where price was very small, then you had this sudden pop to the upside, which just went absolutely mental from 15 cents to $3 in just a case of a month. And then unfortunately for some, they bought at the top because if there's selling, then there's buying, and so some people are buying at that level, and they jumped onto the moving train, and the price has tumbled. It went down approximately 80, almost touching 80%. So some people literally bought there. If they're holding, then they're down here with 80%. But a lot of people would have felt the pain on that day, that week, which went down 35% in a week. So not a good story. However, again, we're back to this baseline. We're kind of almost touching there. You might see Ripple come down to that top of that level ish. I mean, there's not much data on this chart for the weekly. There's other. This is Bitfinex. Other exchanges will have more data, so you can get a better reading. Might come down, but yeah. So we're not buying Ripple at the moment in terms of the technical analysis. If we jump to the 1 day, quickly, we're still under cloud. The red and the blue lines, that you can see it's chopping up and down, no clear direction. Consolidating again. It could be a lot of days. We're looking at maybe April until the price creeps above the cloud, and so that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Maybe at that kind of price level, maybe we're going to break through that where it's a bit thinner, and there you might think is a nice entry level, especially if this is starting to thin out, turn green again, and then we might be off to the races for a new market structure which takes the whole market higher, and Ripple could then exceed its previous all-time highs. Could be a very good opportunity, especially since the big then the big banks aren't investing because they think it's not a viable project. They're investing a lot of money in building a replacement ecosystem themselves, whether it's for their own protection or not. The point is, we're looking at the chart in terms, could this be a good price appreciation over the next foreseeable future?
Absolutely, and I think it's very important. I mean, Ripple's not the only project that banks are working on. We've got R3 consortium, which is working on Corda and other big banking solutions. And there needs to be a transition period. And really and truly, with regards to sort of financial instrumentation and stuff, this is like the tip of the iceberg. This is like the most basic application that you can do with this technology. But once we have this mastered, it allows us to manage resources so much better that we can work on really big and exciting things. Like, I'm a futurist and very, very crazy imagination. Some might even call me like, but this is the thing, right? This is only the layer 1 protocol. We're so early with regards to what we can do with this. And it's really exciting to see what potential could happen. So I fully support anything that kind of invests into this technology and helps it grow, because there's so much more to it. It's not just financial stuff.
Great. Looking quickly at Ether on the weekly, there you go. You got a very negative crossover. That's a TK crossover to the downside on the weekly level, which is very significant. It's kind of like the idea that death cross that we spoke about earlier. From an Ichimoku perspective, there's your death cross weekly chart with that kind of crossover. So I would imagine Ether, even if the price comes up, and it could do, it's probably going to be suppressed for quite a few weeks. I wouldn't be expecting this to suddenly start doing a nice bull run. I might be thinking that's going to flounder, right? It's going to struggle. And then if it's a lot of weeks that takes and we drop below that cloud, then again, we're in the doldrums until something new happens in the future.
Still waiting for POS Ether, sorry. Proof of stake.
If we jump into the 1 day, then look, we're below red cloud, and so that's it. I'm not even going to bother looking at the 4 hour, because there's just no opportunity that I'd be looking at right now on Ether. If there's any other coins that we want to take a look at, or I think that's a good session for today. We'll be back again in a week's time. Couple of any announcements, any notices. We're opening up to mainland Europe the new currency accounts and cards, right? Italy, France, Germany, Spain. People at the top of the waiting list that you might have been on for the past few months, you will be receiving your invitation to update your account and get access to the currency accounts and virtual debit cards with the free plastic card coming to you over the course of the next month, I believe at this point, certainly for the UK. Sure what the time frame for is for Europe, but the UK will start to receive plastic cards in about 4 weeks. So exciting times on that front.
Whoa. So they get a free plastic card as well?
Correct.
Even if they haven't had the account previously?
Correct.
So even if they haven't had a plastic card before?
Correct.
No way.
So that's the launch offer. I'm not sure how long the company will be able to support that. Obviously, everything costs money, and we can't just give everything away for free. We would if we could. But for the time being, all new accounts will receive a free plastic card.
Oh, that's pretty...
at least for the UK and for Europe when it becomes available. Not sure about what's happening outside of Europe at the moment. We have companies looking at new licensing agreements.
Someone's just asked about Denmark. Denmark's in the EU, so there should be good, right?
Yes.
And what else did I want to add to that? Yeah, so that, guys. But the other thing as well is that I think it will only be one plastic card for free, right?
My understanding at this point in time is that I think that's correct, yes.
It's awesome. So the way that you can get another plastic card for free is affiliate link, right? By affiliate linking, is that correct? Or
well, you can certainly earn Bitcoin if you wanted to make the money for the plastic card. I guess most people will just be happy with one card. Help fund us, guys. If there's not a free card available, it's only going to cost you like 10 or 20 euro to get a card, and you're supporting us to grow this very important community around the world. We are working very hard to bring education and the best possible mobile app experience, desktop app experience in the world. New services coming over the course of months. Wallets, as we mentioned before, Litecoin's on the table, Dash is on the table, and more.
Amazing. What more can you guys ask for it? Well, that is pretty much everything from me and Gav today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this weekly Wirex Charts and Trades live. We have been coming to you live from pretty London. Look at that view outside. It's gorgeous out there. It's first signs of spring we've had this week, so we're working very, very hard for you guys. So support us. We don't have an ICO. We need you guys to support us. Literally, please share your affiliate links. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video and to our YouTube page. And yes, so Simon has actually asked an important question with regards to an announcement that we haven't mentioned, and he's asked, when will we be able to buy Bitcoin directly in the UK from via a top up with a credit debit card functionality?
Okay, so this is a fun question to answer.
Yes.
We don't have to say coming soon as in it's going to be weeks. Right now, you can open a currency account. And Raf, maybe you want to share how fast it happened for you. Just, I know it's not the debit card, but just in terms of the external card, but just the process of buying Bitcoin from the UK, fast payment system transfer.
Absolutely. So if you're in the UK, you actually have an added benefit because any resident in the UK that already has a UK bank account, you will be able to...
You've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. So you can actually see, I think I've done a tutorial or a demonstration in our YouTube feed. So you can actually do fast bank transfer, which is instant. And you can instantly send money from your UK bank account to Wirex. And then once that money has landed, that GBP has landed in your Wirex account, you can instantly exchange that to Bitcoin with no processing fees.
Up to £7,500.
Up to £7,500.
Try doing that through other international providers.
Absolutely. So people in the UK are very, very lucky. The other option you do have as well is the option that Thingy is mentioning, which is where you will be able to top up £500 euros or dollars per day to also exchange to Bitcoin. So
and that was coming. This is the thing. It was about to be released yesterday. They're doing final checks on it today. Don't hold us to it completely, but I think tomorrow we could actually just release that. We have the email announcements ready to go to our customer community to let you guys know that yes, you can now use external payment cards about to £500 per day, and I think that's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah,
How cool
hopefully,
is that?
fingers crossed. So let's hope for the best. Hope it's tomorrow. I think it may be Monday, worst case scenario.
And that will then very, very soon apply to European countries as well, and then many countries around the world as well. Even if we can't currently provide the cards, plastic cards or virtual cards in international countries, a lot of countries will actually be able to use your own external bank card to buy Bitcoin on the Wirex platform.
Via a top-up and
Via
exchange.
top-up and exchange. Thank you very much, Raf.
So we're doing everything that we can for you guys, and we look forward to coming out with new products, new solutions, and everything. Just make sure that you champion our cause, because the only way that we can get the word out there is through you guys. We need you guys to spread the message. And spread the good word about Wirex.
Join us on below the video. You'll see a list of social profiles and community links that you can join us on. Is Discord there yet? We've just opened our Discord channel, so we'll add the link for that.
I'll add the link for that.
Telegram, community forum.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. I'm going to be we've got the Pavel interview as well. We're chopping and cleaning up for you guys now, but we're going to do another one soon. So post your questions, any questions that you'd like to ask the founder of Wirex in the community forum.
And also we'll have interviews with other members of the team coming up soon.
That's a good point, yeah.
Compliance officer, risk management, legal guy, head of finance. If you guys have questions for those kind of guys, then send them through, and we will be having video interviews with all of those guys as well.
Absolutely. And also there is teams from Kiev as well, so we've got Kiev interviews too, so you get to meet the whole Wirex team, guys.
Head of research and development over there, Ruslan over there in Kiev, and the customer support and the guys over there. Team is growing. We're opening office in Singapore. We already have the office in Tokyo. The other thing is the launch party coming up.
Oh, very good point. Yeah, so we have Simon here, who's a Wirex customer in the live feed. You're more than welcome to come to, we're going to be releasing invitations for a launch party very, very soon. We're still looking for a venue. So if you guys know of a venue in London, East London preferably, please highlight that to us. We'll definitely take that on board. We're looking at dates around the beginning of next month, I think around the 12th. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you have anywhere in mind around sort of East London, please send us the details, or if you know anyone, please send us the details. We are looking for venues for a launch party. But that is pretty much everything from us today. We've kept you here for just over an hour. I'm going to scrub off the first couple of minutes where the mic wasn't working. Thank you very much to Simon for pointing that out, because I wouldn't have known otherwise. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing all of you guys on the next one as well. That's everything from us today. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Wirex Charts and Trades, and we look forward to seeing you guys again next week. That's all. Take care.